stories. Relatives of boys rescued from a Thai cave breathe a sigh of relief. Ukrainian director Oleksandr Sentsov continues his hunger strike in jail. Kavanaugh makes his first visit to Congress following his nomination to the Supreme Court. Bernie Sanders voices frustration with the Supreme Court nominee. Plus, New Jersey families kick off summer at the State Fair Meadowlands. Hello everyone, I am Sarah Nachman bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. The final 5 members of a young football team were rescued from a flooded Thai cave on Tuesday after spending 18 harrowing days trapped deep inside, completing an astonishing against-the-odds rescue mission that captivated the world. Elite foreign divers and Thai Navy SEALs extracted the final batch of 4 boys plus the 25-year-old coach on Tuesday afternoon via a treacherous escape route that required them to squeeze in darkness through narrow water-filled tunnels. Referring to the boys by the name of their football team, the SEAL said in a Facebook post, all 12 wild boars and coach have been extracted from the cave. The children aged from 11 to 16 and their coach ventured into the Tham Luang cave in mountainous northern Thailand on June 23 after football practice and got trapped when heavy rains caused flooding that forced them to take shelter on a muddy ledge. They spent 9 days in darkness until 2 British divers found them, looking gaunt but offering smiles to the divers and appearing to be in remarkably good spirits. The initial euphoria at finding them dissipated as authorities struggled to devise a safe plan to get them out, with a shelf more than 2.5 miles inside the cave and the labyrinth of tunnels leading to them filled with water. Now they are out, concerns are set to focus on the physical and mental toll of the ordeal. Experts warn that drinking contaminated water or otherwise being exposed to bird or bat droppings in the cave could lead to dangerous infections. They also said counseling would be needed to deal with the psychological trauma of spending so long not knowing whether they were going to survive. But there were some promising initial signs. Medical chiefs reported that the 8 boys rescued on Sunday and Monday were in relatively good mental and physical conditions.
อยากจะขอบคุณรัฐบาลและเจ้าหน้าที่ทุกฝ่ายหรือชลประทานหรือกรมไฟฟ้าหรือกรมทางหลวงเจ้าหน้าที่ตำรวจทหารที่ช่วยและก็หน่วยซิลต่างประเทศหรือในประเทศขอบคุณครับ
ตื่นมากี่โมงก็เช็คว่าเป็นยังไงบ้างแต่วันนี้มีความสุขที่สุดแล้วแต่มันยังไม่สุดเพราะว่าต้องรอให้ทุกคนภารกิจเสร็จสิ้นแล้วก็กลับถึงบ้านด้วยความสวัสดิภาพปลอดภัยทุกคน
Ukrainian filmmaker Oleksandr Sentsov, who is serving a 20-year sentence in Russia, continues a hunger strike to demand Moscow free all Ukrainian political prisoners it holds. Sentsov was convicted of terrorism by a Russian court in 2015, following Moscow's annexation of Crimea from Ukraine. According to his cousin Sentsov, who has been on hunger strike for over 50 days in a remote Russian prison, has lost 15 kilos but is not planning to halt his protests. The 41-year-old anti-Kremlin director and author launched his hunger strike on May 14 to demand Russia release Ukrainian political prisoners. He is serving a 20-year sentence on terrorism charges. Days before the start of the World Cup in Russia last month, President Vladimir Putin said talks with Ukraine were underway on a possible prisoner exchange. That raised hopes that Sentsov could be released during the world's biggest sporting event. But Moscow has so far shown little enthusiasm for freeing Sentsov, despite calls from Western governments and celebrities for him to be released. Nor has Moscow allowed Ukraine's top rights official to visit him in his prison in Russia's far north. His cousin Natalia Kaplan said in televised remarks after visiting him, their first meeting since 2014, Oleg, whose height is 6.2 feet, now weighs 165 pounds. She told Ukraine's Rusted television he's lost 33 pounds since the start of the hunger strike. Sentsov has been fasting for 52 days, sustained by water and a glucose drip. On average, humans can survive without food for about 8 weeks. Kaplan said Sentsov was not in critical condition, although his general state varied day to day. A vocal critic of the Kremlin, Sentsov is best known for his film Gamer, which screened to critical acclaim at the Rotterdam Film Festival in 2012. He was detained in Crimea in 2014 after Russia annexed the peninsula from Ukraine. Supporters say Russia wanted to make an example of him with a stiff sentence on charges of masterminding arson attacks, which he denies. Up next, Kavanaugh makes his first visit to Congress following his nomination to the Supreme Court. Bernie Sanders voices frustration with the Supreme Court nominee. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return in a moment.
The machine is back at it. Guns N' Roses, not in this lifetime tour. Welcome to the jungle. The rock spectacle of 2018 comes to the Philippines.
Here at the Shoe Museum in Marikina in the Philippines, reminding you to watch digital news every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And I am 1 for 25.
Letters and Music, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 1:00 hanggang 2:00 ng hapon.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump on Monday nominated conservative Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court, a decision likely to cement a rightward tilt on the top judicial body, with momentous implications for American society. Trump's decision stands to be among the most consequential of his presidency, as he seeks to shape the high court of his conservative leanings for decades to come. With 53-year-old Kavanaugh, he could serve for a generation or more. Trump said as he introduced his nominee in a primetime address from the White House, praising him as one of the finest and sharpest legal minds of our time. Judge Kavanaugh has impeccable credentials, unsurpassed qualifications, and a proven commitment to equal justice under the law. After days spent teasing his highly anticipated decision, Trump ended up picking a jurist with extended federal bench and administration experience to fill the vacancy left by retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy. Kavanaugh worked for President George W. Bush, who appointed him in 2003 to the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington, where he was finally confirmed by the Senate in 2006 after years of Democratic obstruction. He is also a robust supporter of the executive power of the presidency. Kennedy was long a swing vote on the 9-member court and Trump's choice, his second opportunity in 18 months to fill a Supreme Court seat, stands to dramatically affect many aspects of American life, from abortion to voting rights to immigration. While conservative on firearms and election financing, Kennedy showed a more progressive streak on issues such as abortion and affirmative action. An example of this came in 2015 when same-sex marriage was legalized across the United States. But Kavanaugh, who grew up in Washington as the son of a school teacher, has the reputation of a staunch conservative, one who many Republicans no doubt hope could help overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark 1973 decision that guarantees women the right to an abortion. He has ruled on hundreds of cases and contributed to prosecutor Kenneth Starr's report into President Bill Clinton's affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky, which outlined several grounds for Clinton's impeachment. Later, he was part of Bush's legal team working on the 2000 Florida recount, which resulted in Bush winning the presidency. Kavanaugh recently voiced disagreement with a court decision allowing an undocumented teenage immigrant to get an abortion. U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders voices his frustration with Trump's Supreme Court nominee during a protest rally in Washington. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is President Trump's nominee to be the next Supreme Court justice.
Are you ready to tell the Supreme Court that we think it's absurd that they give constitutional rights to billionaires to buy elections, and then tell women they don't have the constitutional right to control their own bodies, when 70% of the American people support Roe versus Wade? When people support protection for pre-existing rights, when people support environmental protection and workers' rights, we have the American people on our side.
President Donald Trump Monday nominated conservative Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court, a decision set to tilt the top judicial body further to the right with momentous implications for American society. Trump said as he announced his choice in a primetime address from the White House, Judge Kavanaugh has impeccable credentials, unsurpassed qualifications, and a proven commitment to equal justice under the law. When we come back, New Jersey families kick off summer at the State Fair Meadowlands. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return shortly.
With gorgeous white sandy beaches that stay cool to touch even on the hottest summer days, blue-green ocean waves, and the warm ocean breeze, there's no wonder why Dr. Beach is named Siesta Key, Florida, the #1 beach in the United States. Don't forget to watch episodes of Digital Next every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I'm Melissa Protest, coming to you from Siesta Key, Florida, and I am one with 25.
Eagle News Teams are fair.
Sa impeachment complaint laban kay Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, ang ilang maestra...
Ang rekomendasyon na makasuhan ang mga sangkot kasama na ang mga opisyal ng customs.
Hardworking.
Papaunlad ng isang bata na magiging isang future youth leaders.
Dedicated.
Sa nasawi ay dito natagpuan yung bangkay.
Ito yung kanilang paraan ng pag-aalaga ng mga may sakit na leprosy noong unang panahon.
Committed to public service.
Ang chairmanship ng ASEAN sa bansang Singapore.
Marami yung mga biktima ng mga nawawala. Ang ng Bureau of Customs na nasa merkado na yung mga pinaking produkto.
Sa kapila ng mga kilos protesta na nanatiling
dahil sa mabilis na pagresponde ng mga pamatay sunog, ang apoy mabilis na
karoon ng equal opportunity ang ibang mga kababaihan.
Ng mga kabataan at ipinakita sa pamagitan ng kanilang mga likha.
Nanatiling kulang pa rin ang tubig para sa irigasyon, para sa pagtatanim ng ating mga kababayang magsasaka.
As we live in interesting times.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
This is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. I am Sarah Nachman. New Jersey families welcome the summer season at the State Fair Meadowlands, where food, rides, and shows are all part of the experience. ABC Junior correspondents Leonad Yura Vergara with a report.
Summer is here, and the best way to spend time with the family is to check out the State Fair Meadowlands at MetLife Stadium.
I mean, the fair is spread out over 35 acres, as you'll see as you guys explore tonight. It's spread out. There's a lot of cool vendors, a lot of cool attractions, games too, and there literally is so many things to do. We have over 50 food vendors offering anything and everything that you could ever imagine wanting to eat or drink. We have a vendor that actually makes rolled ice cream, and of course there's funnel cake and zeppeli and things like that, but those are some of the most popular. We have a sky ride that takes you from the main midway over here to the carnival midway farther in where all the rides are, and it's a really cool way to get an awesome view. We have 2 Ferris wheels. We have the original Batcopter from the 1960s television series, and it's amazing because you're talking about a piece of movie and television history. We have really fun family shows. We have shows like the Olympic Arctic High Dive, Cycle Circus Live, which is a really cool FMX cycling stunt show. You know what? I think I would definitely say the racing pigs are our most popular. Everybody loves them. It's a really fun event, so I would say the racing pigs are our most popular show.
Well, we have 15 pigs with us. It's hard to have favorites, but I think Tyrone the Terrible is probably my favorite. He's been with us for a long time, and he's got a real sweet spot for people, so he's probably my favorite. My favorite part about what we do in general is probably the people, the audience, the happiness, the excitement, the adrenaline. We have a lot of fun. We go hog wild. You know, everybody likes to have a swine time.
After the race, do you think we should have done better, or do you think that's the best you could have done?
No matter how young or old you are, if you come to State Fair Meadowlands, there is literally something for everybody. And that, I think, is what makes it so much fun. Nobody feels left out. Everybody gets to have a good time. Everyone gets a really good bite to eat.
From the coolest rides to feeding pigs to all the best fried foods one can eat. This is the place to kick off our summer vacation. He's Uriah and he's Leo, reporting from New Jersey State Fair Meadowlands. And we are one with 25.
Thanks, guys. Carnivals are indeed fun. That is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Join us tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our website at eaglenews.ph and eaglenewslive.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. On behalf of Eagle News Washington, D.C., thank you for watching. I am Sarah Nachman. I am one with 25.